Hey, my reactor, so I'm back with chapter 12, the fight. She went to him, I might not be banging on the word. She went to him, she adjusted, became quieter, more subdued person. She didn't kill, but she seemed to die a little. Kevin didn't come to me, didn't write. Rufus finally let me write another letter. Payment for service rendered, I suppose. And he mailed it for me. Yet another month went by and Kevin didn't reply. Don't worry about it, Ruth told me. He probably did move again. We'll be getting a letter from him in Maine any day now. I didn't say anything. Rufus had become talkative and happy, openly affectionate to a quiet, tolerant Alice. He drank more than he should, and sometimes, more than he should have sometimes. And one morning after he really overdone it, Alice came downstairs with her whole face swollen and bruised. That was the morning I stopped wondering whether I should ask him to help me go north to find Kevin. I wouldn't have expected him to give me money, but he could have got me some damn official looking papers. He could even have gone with me at least to the Pennsylvania state line, or he could have stopped me cold. He had already found a way to control me by threatening orders. That was the safest than threatening me directly in the work. It was a lesson he had no doubt learned from his father. Wayner, for instance. He had known just how far to push her. He had sold only 3 of her children, left her one to live for and protect. I didn't doubt now that he could have found a buyer for Curry, as afflicted as she was. But Curry was a useful young woman. Not only did she work hard and will herself, not only had she produced a healthy new slave, but she had kept first her mother and now her husband alive with no effort at all on Waylon's part. I didn't want to find out how much Ruth had learned from his father's handling of her. I longed for my map now. It contained names of towns I could write myself passes to. No doubt some of the towns on it didn't exist yet, but at least it would have given me a better idea of what was ahead. I would have to take my chances without it. Well, at least I knew that Easton was a few miles to the north, and that the road that ran past the Wayner house would take me to it. Unfortunately, it would also take me through a lot of open field, places where it would be nearly impossible to hide, and pass or no pass, I would hide from whites if I could. I would have to carry food, Johnny cake, smoked meat, dried fruit, a bottle of water. I had access to what I need. I had heard of runaway slaves starving before they reached freedom, or poisoning themselves because they didn't know as I was about which they didn't know about the wild plants that they could eat. In fact, I had read and heard enough scary stories about the fate of runaways to keep me with the Williams for several days longer than I meant to stay. I might not have believed them, but I had the example of Isaac and Alice before me. Fittingly then, it was Alice who gave me the push I needed. I was helping Tess with the wash, sweating and stirring dirty clothes as they boiled in their big iron pot. When Alice came to me, crept to me, looking back over her shoulders, her eyes wide with that what I could read as fear. You looked at this, she said to me, not glancing at Tess, who had stopped pounding a pair of Wagner's pants to watch us. She trusts Tess. See, she said, I've been looking where I wasn't supposed to look, in Mr. Rufus' bed's chest. But what I found don't like the world. But what I found don't look like it ought to be there. She took 2 letters from her apron pocket. 2 letters. They're sealed, broken. their face covered with my handwriting. Oh my God, I whispered. Yours? Yes. Dorso. I can read some words. Got to take these back now. Yes. She turned to go. Alice, yeah, thanks, but be careful when you put them back. You be careful too, she said. Our eyes met and we both knew what she was talking about. I left that night. I collected the food and borrowed one of Nigel's old hats to pull down over my hair, which wasn't very long, luckily. When I asked Nigel for the hat, he just looked at me for a long moment, then got it for me, no questions. I didn't think he expected to see me again. I stole a pair of Rufus' old trousers and a worn shirt. My jeans and shirts were too well known to Rufus' neighbors, and the dress Alice had me look too. Hold up, and the dress Alice had me look too much like the dress every other slave woman on the place wore. Besides, I had decided to become a boy, and the loose, shabby, but definitely male clothing I'd chosen, my height and my voice will get me by, I hope. I packed everything I could into my dinner bag and left it in its place on a pallet where I normally use as a pillow. My freedom of movement was more useful to me now than it ever been. I could go where I wanted to go, and no one said, "What are you doing here? Why aren't you working?" Everyone assumed I was working. Wasn't I? The industrious, stupid one who always worked. So I was left alone, alone to make my own preparations. I even got a chance to prowl through Winer's library. Finally, at day's end, I went to the attic with the other house servants and lay down to wait until they were asleep. That was my mistake. I wanted the others to be able to say they saw me go to bed. I wanted Rufus and Tom waited to waste time looking around the plantation for me tomorrow when they realized they hadn't seen me for a while. They wouldn't do that if some house servant, one of the children perhaps said, she never went to bed last night. Over planning. I got up when the others had been quiet for some time. It was about midnight, and I knew I could be past Easter before morning. I had talked to others who had walked the distance, but before the sun rose, though I had to find a place to hide and sleep, then I could write myself a pass to one of the other places whose names and general locations I learned in Raymond's library. There was a place near the country line called Way Mill. Beyond that, I was real northeast, slanting towards the plantation of a cousin of Wayland's and towards Delaware to travel up the highest part of Peninsula in that way, of the Peninsula. I hope to avoid many other rivers. I had a feeling they were what would make my I had a feeling they were what would make my trip long and difficult. I crept away from Wayne House, moving through the darkness with even less confidence than I had felt when I fled to Alice's house months before, years before. I hadn't known quite as well then what there was to fear. I had never seen a captain runaways like Alice. I had never felt the whip across my back. I had never felt a man's fist. I felt almost sick to my stomach with the fear, but I kept walking. I stumbled over a stick that laid in the road and first cursed it, then picked it up. It felt good in my hand, solid. A stick like this had saved me once. Now it quenched a little of my fear, gave me confidence and walked faster, moving into the woods along the side as soon as I passed Williams Field. The way was hold up. The way was north towards Alice's old cabin, towards the Holman plantation, towards eastern, which I would have no skirts. The walking was easy, at least. This was a flat country with only a few barely noticeable rolling hills to break the monotony. The road ran through thick, dark woods that were probably filled of good places to hide, and the only water I saw flowed in streams so tiny they barely wet my feet. That wouldn't last, though. There would be rivers. I hear from an old black man who drove a wagon pulled by a mule. He went by humming tunelessly, apparently fearing neither patrollers nor any other dangers of the night. I envy his calmness. I hear from three white men who rode by on horsebacks. They had a dog with them, and I was afraid it would smell me and give me away. Luckily, the wind was in my favor, and it went on its way. Another dog found me later, though. It came running towards me through a field and over a rail fence, barking and growling. I turned to meet it almost without thinking and clubbed it down as it lunged at me. Tore that dog up. I wasn't really afraid. I wasn't really afraid. Dogs with white men frightened me, or dogs in packs. Sarah had told me of runaways who had been torn to pieces by packs of dogs used to hunt them. But one lone dog didn't seem to be much of a threat. As it turned out, the dog was no threat at all. I hit it, it failed, then got up and limped away, yapping. I let it go, glad hadn't had to hurt it worse. I like dogs normally. I hurried on, wanting to be out of sight of other dog's noise brought people out to investigate. The experience did make me a little more confident of my ability to defend myself, though, and the natural night noises disturbed me less. I reached the town and avoided I could see it, and avoided what I could see of it. A few shadowy buildings. I walked on, beginning to tire, beginning to worry that dawn was not far away. I couldn't tell whether my worrying was legitimate or came from my desire to rest. Not for the first time. I wish I had been wearing a watch when Rufus called me. I pulled myself on until I pushed myself on until I could see that the sky really was glowing light. Then as I looked around wondering where I could find shelter for the day, I heard horses. I moved further from the road and crouched in a thick growth of bushes, grasses, and young trees. I was used to hiding now, no more afraid than I had been when I hit him before. No one had spotted me yet. There were two horsemen moving slowly up the road towards me. Very slowly. They were looking around, peering through the dimness into the trees. I could see that one of them was riding a light-colored horse, a gray horse. I saw as it drew closer. I jumped. I managed not to gasp, but I did make that one involuntary movement, and a twig that I hadn't noticed snapped under me. The horseman stopped almost in front of me. Rufus on the gray. Hold up. Rufus on the gray he usually rode, and Tom waited on a darker animal. I could see them clearly now. They were looking for me already. They shouldn't even have known yet that I was gone. They couldn't have known unless someone told. Someone must have seen me leaving. Someone other than Rufus or Tom waiting. They would simply have stopped me. It must have been one of the slaves. Someone had betrayed me, and now I had betrayed myself. I heard something, said Tom Wayner, and Rufus, so did I. She around here somewhere. I shrank down, trying to make myself smaller without moving enough to make more noise. Damn that Franklin, I heard Rufus say. You're damning the wrong man, said Wayner. Rufus let that go unanswered. Look over there, Wayner said, pointing away from me, pointing into the woods ahead of me. He headed his horse over to investigate what he had seen and frightened out a large bird. Rufus' eyes were better. He ignored his father and headed straight for me. He couldn't have seen me, couldn't have seen any other than a possible hiding place. He plunged his horse into the bushes that hid me. He plunged it in it. He plunged it into either to trample me or to drive me out. He drove me out. I threw myself to one side away from the horses. Hooves. Rufus let out a walk and swung down literally on top of my head. I fell under his weight, and the fall twisted my club out of my hand, set it into the set it in just the right position for me to fall on. I heard my stolen shirt tear, felt the splinters and scraped my side. She's here, called Rufus. I got her. He would get something else too if I could have reached my knife. I twisted downward toward the ankle sheet with him still on top of me. My side was suddenly aflame with pain. Come help me hold her, he said. His father strode over, and kicked me slam in the face, then held me, all right, far from away. No, then held me, all right, far from away. I could hear Rufus shouting, strangely soft shouting. You didn't have to do that. Wayne's reply was lost, Wayne's reply was lost to me, so I drifted into unconsciousness. So I will be back, y'all, with chapter 13. I'm going to take it out with the last chapter of this, the fight. And I'll be back. Got my reaction.